Hello and welcome.
Welcome.
I'm
I'm
Chrystal,
Chrystal.
I'm Bayleigh.
and we're
We're
back
back.
to chat about
Chat about
baseball.
baseball.
Yes, a lot to talk about because last week was Easter, so we had to push a little bit of a week back, but we are here and I'm excited to talk some baseball.
Yes, it
Yes,
was
it was
Easter, and
Easter,
I
and I
was
was
on a
on a
plane
plane
leaving New
leaving New
York
York
around the time
around the
we
time
would
we would
normally
normally
record.
record.
So yeah, she had a really good excuse, so.
True.
Yeah, it's like you actually had one. It's like I don't usually have a good one, but you had a good one.
I was
But
busy watching good baseball. Thank you.
yeah, must be nice. That must be nice when your owner is like, "Oh, I'll just give more than $700 million to a player that only is offensive." But yeah, who gives a shit? Because I'm the richest person in Major League Baseball. Must be nice. Must be nice.
We love
We
it.
love it.
So this is
This is
our, what
our,
did we
what did
call
we
it,
call it,
Bayleigh?
Bayleigh?
What did that
What did
man
that man
say?
say?
What was that?
What did
What
that
did that
man
man
call our
call our
podcast?
podcast?
Oh yes. What did he call us? He was like, oh my god, I wish I could remember exactly what he said. I think I could find it, but yeah, I had a tweet go like minimally viral because I mean like only like so many people interacted with it, but like all I said in this tweet was that like. And I have no problem with how they market Shohei and Judge. I'm all for it. Like, market your people. But maybe just, like, I don't know, share the wealth a little bit around. So Shohei had his daughter right around the time that Bregman had his second son. And, of course, MLB's like, congratulations, Shohei Ohtani, this, that, or the other thing. And I was like, hey, did Bregman get any love? And then other people were like, no, this guy just had a baby. No love, no love. So, again, and then I had just Dodgers fans coming at me, like, being like, well, sorry that he's generational and not a cheater. I was like, this has nothing to do with Shohei. It has everything to do with just being better at marketing your game. They're not even marketing like Bryce Harper the same way that they used to be marketing him.
Mm.
Yeah. So we are, yes, the person referred to us as joke of a pod because, of course, after I offended them, he had to then go through all of my past tweets and start commenting on them after I blocked him because he got really upset. And now you can still see what they do after a block. So it was just funny to see him kind of like spiral out after a person I've never once interacted with. I blocked him after he was just being ridiculously annoying, being like, we were just stating facts. I was like, you're not stating facts. That's just completely unoriginal. Like, at least hit me with some originality. And then, of course, I even found anti Semitism in some of the tweets. They were like, oh, why would they ever do this for a Jew? And like stuff like that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So, and then there were even people coming at Shohei for being Asian. So I don't know. It's a legitimate hellscape. So I was just blocking so many people. Like, I didn't care if you were actually doing something really bad or you were just coming at me with the most ridiculous idea of like, well, the best player to ever play the game of baseball, who's Alex Bregman? I was like, it had nothing to do with any of that. It was more like, can we just share the wealth, Major League Baseball? That's what I would just like. Like, Pete Alonso has been playing off his ass.
Yeah.
Not seeing Pete Alonso's every second of every day, like you do with Shohei or Aaron Judge. Again, Aaron Judge is also just being ridiculous again. But it's just like, it's like I'm just like a share the wealth type of person. That's kind of just how I feel about it.
I put that at the bottom of our notes, but it was that Shohei was the first person in the Major League Baseball organization to father a child. So congratulations.
Nobody else has ever done it before. It's weird that they're all sterile.
And we love Shohei. This is not a Shohei
Again,
hate podcast.
We're seeing something that we've never, nobody alive has seen, because like people, and even if somebody who can remember when Ruth played, can they really remember because they're so old at this point? It's like we're just seeing something that we've never seen before, and we're also seeing something we've never seen before from an offensive standpoint with Aaron Judge. Like, these numbers haven't been touched since Barry Bonds and steroids. So to be able to see somebody play at like, what is he like? Did he just turn 33 or something? Like, he's also, it's like he's getting better with age, which just doesn't happen. Like you look at his Savant page, it's like blood red. And then you're seeing some other people who are starting to get a little up there. And again, it's also early. It's literally April 27th as we record this. But if you go on like Mookie Betts' Savant page or Xander Bogaerts' Savant page, there's like the most amount of blue that has ever existed for either of them. But they're also on the back half of 30. They're past 30, so they're starting to go into where you would normally regress. But Aaron Judge is like, no, I'm going to get called up at 25. I'm going to be a pretty well-touted prospect, but not like the best of the best that you've ever heard of. And then I'm just going to come into this game and I'm going to be the best player that you've ever seen from an offensive standpoint. And it's just wild what he's able to do with his career. So yeah, we don't hate Judge and Ohtani. We would just like, other guys to get some love.
Also, Aaron Judge just turned 33 yesterday.
Oh, well, happy birthday, Aaron Judge. And he's just, I can't even, last year he finished the whole season with, I think a 218 WRC plus. And I'm just like, that is absolutely obscene. And I think he's doing, because his April last year wasn't great, so he had to make up all those numbers. Right now, do you want to know what his WRC plus is right now?
No.
It's 250. How? Legitimately, he's hitting 408 with a 508 on his on base is 508. His slugging is 714. He has a 250 WRC plus. Already has a Fangraphs WAR of 2.5. This is just crazy. I wonder what his hitting 408 is just crazy, but I wonder what his expected his what is his expected stats are probably even better than that, which is just crazy if you even think about that. It's what? But I will say, there is somebody better than Aaron Judge at barreling a baseball right now, and he's stuck in AAA, and his name is Roman Anthony. So I'm so angry at the Red Sox. Legitimately, he has a better barrel rate. The best barrel rate throughout all of just organized professional baseball right now is Roman Anthony.
Yes, Ed Hand, friend of the pod, had
only
the most amazing words about him. He's ready.
He's so ready. And they're just, at this point, I think it's just trying to manipulate his service time in the fact of not, they're past that point where they would get the extra year, but then they're afraid that he's going to be either 1 or 2 in Rookie of the Year, which means that extra year won't matter. But I'm all over here being like, why aren't you saying to him right now, we're going to give you the same amount of money that the Royals gave Bobby Witt Jr. and then just be like, here you go. I don't even care. Because there's no, in my mind, you could be like, oh, he could be a bust. You can't be this good and just all of a sudden just get to the major leagues and just not know how to hit a baseball.
It's true.
So I don't care. Give him all the money. Give him J-Rod's extension. I don't care.
Speaking of hitting baseballs, Eugenio Suárez became the 19th player in MLB history to hit 4 home runs in a game.
That's pretty crazy. How I just from 4 for 4 with 4 home runs. It's okay, that's pretty impressive. I know he has been bounced around a lot. He's not. Where is he now? Is he in Arizona?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, is he in Arizona? Because I know for he went from Cincinnati to Seattle to, all right, good. Arizona's, man, I'll tell you, the West, the NL West, that's going to be a dogfight between everybody that's not the Colorado Rockies.
Poor Rockies.
I know. No, 2007, a good time for them. After that, no. But this next thing up on our notes of pretty cool things that have happened, I got to watch it live and not really understand what was going on because the camera angles and nobody in the booth could even understand what was going on. But Jarren Duran straight stole home plate. Even Rafael Devers didn't know what was going on because his reaction, he's because I saw all of what was happening with Rafael, so I was like, what is going on? He's at the plate, and then all of a sudden you just see this look of terror on his face, and he jumps back, and then all of a sudden you just see Duran, boom, right there. But it was I don't know if Duran was just completely doing it on his own. It looked like Devers had no clue what was happening. Mm-hmm. So it's at least if it was between Cora and Duran being hey, I was hopefully you would tell Rafael, he might be trying to steal home if he gets on third and you're at the plate, because he looked terrified. And I was but it was pretty cool. And it was the first time since it had actually happened. And it was on the same day that Jacoby Ellsbury actually stole home against the Yankees.
Mhm.
And oh my God, that was like 15 years ago. So it's like, it was
16.
16, like crazy. And I was like, all right, that's pretty cool to have it done on the same day. Kind of similar players in like the way they play the game. But yeah, so it was pretty cool. And I think like, yeah, so God, 16 years, that's crazy. I was a teenager. Like, yeah. And it was the last time, last year, I think in June or July, Duran had stolen home before. But like, still, this was just like completely, like literally the camera angles just, you just saw the aftermath of like him. And then, of course, they went to the review because what he did was he had his batting gloves in his right hand when he went to like go over home plate, and they were like, "Oh, did the ball hit the gloves? And if it hit the gloves and that's on his person, he's out." But thankfully, so maybe just pocket them in your back pocket next time you're gonna try to do that, Jarren.
Yeah, we got a ton of Red Sox news.
We do. Is it gonna be good news? I don't know.
Well, friend of ours who's been on both Sox teams now,
Yes.
Lucas Giolito, is finally going to get a start. First start since October 1st, 2023.
Yes, and his rehabs have been a little over the place, but I understand it's just sometimes a rehab, and if the adrenaline's pumping once you get up to the majors, you can be a little better. But he was better, and I understand he's coming off of quite literally like repairing his elbow, like the half-ass Tommy John, not the full TJ, the internal brace. So it's like the command hasn't really been there so far. I think he walked like 6 people. And his last, it was pretty rough. So I'm just like, all right, well, we'll see. But I mean, can't be any worse than Tanner Houck. I think Tanner Houck has maybe pitched himself back to the bullpen, maybe. Because if Giolito is competent, like if he comes back and he's competent, I don't know how you say to, I don't know, because like right now they're dealing with Richard Fitz, like pulled his boobie muscle a little bit, little boob pull. So they're dealing with that, but like he's supposedly progressing pretty well and probably be back in the next couple of weeks. So I don't know how you say to Tanner Houck and say to like Richard Fitz, be like, hey, like, dude, you're terrible right now. Like, there's no way you can kind of get around it. But it's also funny because he's the kind of person that is just dog poop for like the first inning and then figures it out for the rest. So I really don't know what's going on. It was the Nick Pivetta thing. That's how except of course Nick Pavetta's but April Nick Pivetta will always fool you. Don't worry. The numbers will even out. It'll be like a 4 ERA. But in April Nick Pivetta, Cy Young, always. But that's how Nick Pivetta was for most of his tenure with the Red Sox. It was like, oh, that first inning's terrible, and then all of a sudden you look like you should win a Cy Young for the subsequent innings. But you've already burned your arm out in that first one where you throw like 30 pitches.
But I didn't realize how much of this bottom half is pitcher heavy.
Yeah.
Paul Skenes is next.
Oh, yeah. We got Paul Skenes. That is all. Yeah, I was able to watch some of his game at home for him because he's an LA boy. So at Dodger Stadium. And he was going against Yamamoto, who's also been really good this year. And Yamamoto pitched pretty well. Paul Skenes is just like, and it's, when I watch him pitch, he like makes it look so easy that I'm like, oh, is he even having a hard time out there? It's just kind of like he just picks it up, throws it, and that's it.
He's like a robot.
Yeah.
And so last week it was his Rookie of the Year bobblehead giveaway.
That's fun.
There were lines, miles wrapped around PNC Park.
It's, man, I hate so much when a team gets such a good player and that team is just going, it's like when Garrett Cole was on the Pirates. Like, oh, cool. You're eventually going to get traded to a team like the Houston Astros or the Yankees or the Red Sox that are trying to actually do things before you even finish out that, rookie contract because Paul Skenes would be the biggest moron on planet Earth if he took any extension. And he shouldn't. You just play it out. You already made bank by being the number 1 draft pick. So you got millions already, and then your girlfriend's making all the money with her name, image, and likeness. Like, they're set already before he even gets maybe $500 million contract. Like, because at this point it's what Garrett and Yamamoto with like the most, and they're in like the 320s. I think he's gonna blow past it. It's just when is he a free agent? So it's like because he also won Rookie of the Year, so he took away a year of the service time, right? So he came up last year, so that's like 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So after maybe the 28 season, will he be a free agent? But he's definitely gonna probably get traded before then, I would think. So I think he's only got a couple of, like, how many years did Garrett Cole, like, how long was he actually on the Pirates before he was traded to Houston? So 13, 14, 15, 16. So yeah, like 5 years. So there's a maximum of, at most, I would say, that you have 5 years of Paul Skenes before you go somewhere else, because your franchise is just completely unserious.
Yeah. Poor Pirates.
And it's awful because I like that team. I think they could be fun. That ballpark is like my number one. So like there's so much that you can do, and you will get fans to come out. Like there used to be like the Pirates in like I think it was either the 70s or the 80s with like the We Are Family, like Willie Stargell, like all that. Like there are fans in Pittsburgh. It's like there's stuff, you're wearing a Montreal shirt. There are fans in Montreal. If you just build your team, I don't know, it just really drives me insane. I feel so bad for like actual fans. I mean, look at Oakland. They're now in Sacramento on their way to Vegas because the ownership are dinks. I don't really know what more. No. This next one's fun. Phillies reliever Matt Strahm is basically a Nicolas Cage doppelganger, so naturally he'd have a glove with the Declaration of Independence on it. And he's having fun with it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to share the picture.
Yes.
Because it's too funny if you haven't seen it.
And I think he also just tweeted something where he was like, oh yeah, getting ready to steal this bad boy or something like that, something along the lines. So it's like, okay, and you can have fun with it.
So unserious.
Yeah, and Philadelphia is a very it's just so perfect that he plays for the Phillies. All of that, it feels very and it's not even like a America, MAGA America. It's just oh, this is a fun America thing that I think is cute.
And so last in the cool stuff, at least.
Yes.
Liam Hendriks finally took the mound for the first time in 681 days.
Yeah, it's been rocky. It's been rough. But also, you haven't pitched in 681 days.
He's kind of been through a lot.
He really has. So I hope it's something that, because his fastball's still hitting 96. It's just whether or not the fastball has really any life to it. So we'll if it's just a blah fastball, they're gonna tee off 96. It doesn't really matter how fast it can be. So I mean, and Red Sox fans are actually, I think this is one person we can be in consensus with, is that everybody wants this man to do well, just from his attitude, the kind of person that he is, and the success that he's had in the past. And right now the Red Sox bullpen, outside of having three dominant people, the rest of that bullpen's a little blech, especially the middle relief. So if you could get somebody like him on the right track, you have potentially 4 really good people you could go to, and then they could, hopefully 5, because they did finally bring up Luis Guerrero, who is just, his arm is electric. So you could potentially have 5 really good people. That completely changes, the outlook of your entire bullpen, and that could be really good. So I mean, I want Liam to have the best.
Yeah. Well, before we dip into injuries, we're going to take a quick break so Brett doesn't yell at me. All right, we're back. If you were watching on YouTube, that was awkward.
No, right? Sorry, we're just gonna stand there a little frozen briefly. But yeah, we have an injuries section coming up because, of course, it's Major League Baseball and injuries are aplenty. This one really sucks for the Mariners. Mariners placed ace Logan Gilbert on the 15-day injured list with a right elbow flexor strain, and MRI revealed a grade 1 strain. Mariners will shut down the 27-year-old for throwing before re-examining him in 2 weeks. That's rough.
It's a huge blow.
They still somehow, their pitching is still so good. It's Brian Wu just completely carved up a lot of people can carve up the Red Sox, but he was carving up the Red Sox while actually being a good pitcher, unlike people that carve up the Red Sox and their ERA is 18, and you're wow, Made him look like vintage Randy Johnson. Good job, Red Sox. But I mean, Brian Wu is like actually really good. So, and isn't like Gilbert's now hurt, but like isn't their other ace is also hurt too, right?
I don't remember. I haven't followed the Mariners as much as I
And then
normally do.
they have Castillo. Like they potentially have like 4 really solid options to go to when Gilbert's obviously not hurt.
Yeah. So the Rays placed Shane McClanahan on a 60-day injured list with nerve issues. Those are scary.
This poor guy. It was happening in spring training against the Red Sox. So I saw when he released the pitch and then was like his arm like went dead and he's like, nope. And he was literally just coming off of Tommy John.
Yeah, nerves are terrifying.
Yeah. Because nerves usually kind of like the thoracic outlet is a big nerve thing, and you're like at least with Tommy John nowadays you can come back and you can have 2 of them and pitch as well as Nathan Eovaldi has been doing. Like Nathan Eovaldi is just it's insane how he's had 2 Tommy Johns and still it's just been as good as he has and as durable as he has. But yeah, man, when you get that like thoracic outlet, that's like oops, sorry, there's nothing we can do for you. Your career's over. So like knock on the wood of this table. Yeah. You never want that to happen to anybody, except for at least somebody so young.
Yeah.
Like that's awful. And then Minnesota Twins rookie Luke Keaschall, is that how he says it?
Keaschall, yeah.
Keaschall. I haven't even. Good for him. Sustained except for good for you for being a rookie in this league, but then also sucks for you that you broke your forearm when hit by a pitch by the Angels. Also, the Angels, I feel like if they're not hurting their own players, they're just coming after young rookies. So it's like that's got to just be like, hey, I'm here. I'm so excited. Oh, by the way, we're gonna just blast your arm with a pitch. Oh God. Well, that's like Connor Wong was able to break his own hand on his fault entirely by catcher interference. So yeah. I mean, this game.
Good news for Blake Snell, I guess. So an MRI exam on his left shoulder revealed no structural damage. They don't have a timetable for him. He's not pitched since April 2nd because he's had that left shoulder inflammation, but no structural damage is probably the best case scenario in this.
What is it with Blake Snell and just not being able to stay healthy? Because when he's healthy, I don't know if there's anybody with better stuff. Yeah. Like his stuff is gross, but it's staying healthy. Like, and it's not even like the funny part about it is like, it's not like he's strained that arm off because, you know, especially when he was a Ray, it was like you were on these pitching limits. So it's not like there's been miles to, you know, that elbow or anything like that. But I don't know. He's a very fragile guy. Very fragile guy. But then the Royals ace, Cole Ragans, is dealing with a mild groin strain. The team is unsure if he will make his next start. Well, hopefully that's nothing. I still can't believe that the Royals got Cole Ragans for Aroldis Chapman.
I know. That's a wild deal.
Cool, Texas, you won, but also do you know how amazing it would be if you won? I think you still maybe would have won the World Series without Aroldis Chapman, and then you give away Cole Ragans, who could really help you right now because your pitching is a little bleh. But that's hindsight is 2020. They have their championship, but at what cost, I guess? Because at least it's like the same thing with the cut. Like when the Yankees got Gleyber Torres for Aroldis Chapman in 2016 with the Cubs, and Gleyber was for the most part good throughout his Yankee career and good for them. And in 2016, they like completely blew out Chapman's arm. Like, when you have the player being like, hey, my manager just destroyed me. Sorry, guys. Like almost cost the Cubs a championship. Like with couldn't happen to a better guy, right? And I hate how good Aroldis Chapman has looked so far. And I was like afraid it was gonna happen. I'm like, oh, he's gonna come here and he's just gonna like look the best. And the fact that he can still hit 102 at 37. Like, oh, what? He's going to be like 48 and still blowing 97.
I appreciate that the White Sox did get a run off of him, though, in that last series.
Yes, you're welcome for that. But
appreciate it.
Yeah, I just can't with I can't with how good he's been. I hate it. You know, I really wish Aroldis Chapman was a good dude. Because if Aroldis Chapman was a good dude, how cool would there be seeing like a 37-year-old still blowing 102 and just blowing guys away? And I get he's tried to rebuild himself better than other players have, but it's still like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. I think you would need to give all of your money away to like charity or something for me to be like, oh, you really are trying to do some good things. Like, give your entire salary away this year. You got enough money. Then I'd be like, oh, respect. But that'll never happen. So,
Yeah, give it to a women's shelter.
that would be incredible. Imagine, but they just don't. They don't care. They don't care. But at least you don't have to deal with your asshole anymore.
Well,
or is
he cleared waivers.
Yeah, because nobody's gonna pick him up.
Well, yeah. So he's been designated back to minor leagues, but
So you can bring him back if they need it.
yeah, they're trying to stretch him as a starter. I'm like, why don't you give this opportunity to the good young pitchers we have?
Yeah, and you actually have some guys that look like they can actually pitch.
Yeah, like,
which is kind of fun. Why are you worried about Mike Clevenger being able to pitch?
Give those starts to Nick Nastrini, who was like a little angel baby, and not a washed up, drugged up loser.
Yeah, who hasn't been good since what, like 2017, if 2018? Like, yeah, okay. And when he's best friends with Trevor Bauer, that should be kind of like a big ass red flag. You're like, oh yeah, there's your red flag right there.
Whatever. I'll take these next two.
Oh yeah.
Me related.
Go for
it. Another kind of big blow. The Rangers placed Corey Seager on the 10-day injured list with a right hamstring strain. He sustained the injury while running to first base. First base will take you out every time.
I just want to know. It's like not to pass judgment on like the conditioning of these guys, because their conditioning is far better than my conditioning, whatever be as I sit here talking. But it seems like these issues always seem to come up that I'm like, is your conditioning just not where it really should be? Like, you should, if you're like stretching the way you should be and you're doing all of this, I'm like, why are we pulling hammies so easily? Like, just run to first base.
Yeah. And then major blow to the White Sox, the veteran, amazing pitcher that I love dearly, Martín Pérez, probably won't return this season. He's not going under Tommy John, but it's over. He had a left flexor strain.
Oof.
He might be pitching again in September, but the White Sox aren't going anywhere after September. So
imagine if they just go on this run and then they're like, we got Perez Day. You know, we got him locked and loaded.
Perez comes back for Game 1 of the World Series.
Hey, do you know? I would love to know that if I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna put $100 on them winning the World Series, what my payout would be. I'd probably get like $100,000 or something.
Oh, a lot. Yeah.
I would totally waste $100 just to potentially make $100,000. I know I'm definitely not, but hell yeah. That sounds great. All right, so rounding out our injuries. Tests revealed that Spencer Strider, who was placed on the 15-day injured list, is dealing with a grade 1 strain of his right hamstring. A grade 1 strain is considered mild and usually comes with a quicker recovery. However, of course, no timetable for the return. He's another one that really can't stay healthy. And when he's on the mound, it's like his tree trunk thighs, you know? It's just kind of... I can't get...
How do you feel about those legs?
I can't get over, like, how big they are. For, like, a guy that's, like, not really that big, I'm like, this man does not skip leg day. And respect.
It's unreal. It's just, I don't. I'm more of a dad bod pitcher kind of girl, and not like this tree trunk for legs pitcher kind of girl.
Yeah. I like when because I of respect to Brayan Bello. So Brayan Bello made his return off of the IL and pitched pretty decently, but also just showed up in like the tight white home whites And he was like trying to go full like Pedro with like his look and everything. And I'm like, you know what, respect. I like when these guys like Walker Buehler wears a uniform real well. I just love when guys are like, you know what, I'm gonna actually like wear this uniform to my body type, whether it be the dad bod, whether it be the tree trunk thighs or the skinny guy. The guys that just like form fittingly wear a uniform, I'm always like, this is how it should be. You look clean, you look good.
Garrett Crochet.
Yes. Yeah. He does a little weird thing though with like the bottom of his like, and I'm like, what is this? Outside of the little bottoms.
I love it. I love how he rolls the little bottoms up.
But he's got I do love his delivery. His delivery like kind of reminds me of like, because I was always obsessed with Scott Kazmir's delivery. And I was always like, their delivery is kind of like, you know, the leg kick. Like, I feel like Crochet's leg is a little straighter than Kazmir's ever was. But Kazmir would come up, like, do a little, like, leg. Like, he'd pull the leg back a little and then straighten it out and throw. And I was like, oh, God, what a delivery. Beautiful, beautiful delivery. But Crochet, ooh, his last start was a little brutal.
I saw that.
Yeah. But, oh, don't worry. There were plenty of Red Sox fans being like, I can't believe we traded all of this for him and we gave him $170 million. And we're like, I didn't realize that he had to be perfect every time. I know he wants to be perfect. I know Garrett Crochet wants to be perfect. Or if your name is Ben Verlander, Garrett Crochet, as he wrote on the internet. So, but Garrett Crochet wants to always be perfect, but we know he can't always be perfect. So I need him just to blow like 8 innings, like 15 strikeouts. He also had 9 strikeouts in that game.
It's okay to have a bad day too.
Yeah.
Sometimes batters are just going to get too early.
And he was missing. He just kept missing his spots. That was like the big issue. His control was just poop. And sometimes that happens, you know, and I'm okay with it. I don't think that he's washed. I don't think that giving him the $170 million was a mistake. I don't think giving up Kyle Teal and Braden Monk. Yeah, we could use Kyle Teal right now because we're in kind of limbo with our catchers, but like Braden Montgomery, the Red Sox already have a gigantic log jam in the outfield. I'm sorry, giving up Braden Montgomery isn't going to kill them, even if he goes on to potentially be an all-star. I'm going to be okay with that if I have Roman Anthony roaming my outfield. Like, were you gonna block Roman Anthony, or you got to figure out what you want to do with Jarren Duran or Willie Abreu, not to mention the other guys that you've got down in the minors. So yeah, you have to give to get, and they gave, and more than enough, and the perfect amount. I didn't have to give up any of who I was terrified that they were going to give up. So do that trade any day. But now we have a transaction. The Rays acquired outfielder Travis Jankowski from your Chicago White Sox in exchange for cash considerations.
Yeah.
Now, are you okay? Do you figure like that's totally fine? Jankowski
It doesn't bother me. Andrew Benintendi came back, and he's been pretty fine. I mean, he's been fine.
Yeah. He'll be an average baseball player for you, and you can't complain with that.
That Jankowski pickup was really just to replace that Benintendi hole, but he came back sooner than we thought. So
yeah, what did he do? Because it wasn't that long. Because he was playing in the series that the Sox were playing.
He fractured a finger.
Oh wow, he came back real fast then.
Yeah, he was already hitting like before opening day. So
yeah, I know those little bones can. I mean, Wong is supposedly already back to hitting and everything, and it was only a couple weeks ago. So the little bones can heal fast. But and I never thought I'd be like, wow, we need Carter Wong back. But if I have to see Blake Sable catch another baseball game, I might commit Harry Carey. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's really bad. It's really bad.
He's rough to watch. I sat there and I was like, you can't throw to him.
No, he's awful. Where I will say though, Narvaez, like Carlos Narvaez, I love. I'm loving him back there, and like him and Wong tandem could be really good. And I don't know what they're gonna do with Grandal though, because they signed the minor league, and by May 1st he has the opt out. And if Wong's almost ready back, I don't know. So we'll see.
Yeah. So it's sad news. He's 3-time Baseball Executive of the Year and former general manager for both the Cardinals and the Reds. Walt Jocketty has died. He was 74.
That's young.
So, and under him, the Cardinals won the NL Central Division 7 times. The They also won the National League Championship in 2004 and 2006, and their 10th World Series title in 2006 under his leadership. So that's sad.
It is sad. Also being that young too, 74. What accomplished man in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And then from an accomplished man in baseball to somebody who's kind of crazy, Pirates outfielder Tommy Pham has been suspended 1 game and fined an undisclosed amount for committing inappropriate actions towards fans during a game against the Angels. It was prompted after a fan reached over the fence and touched Pham while making a play on the ball. He has elected to appeal the suspension. Now I'm like, yes, don't reach over and touch these guys. But if you reach into the stands, then again, you shouldn't be touching them. But like sometimes it's hard not to be touching when you're like in the stands. But also, this was when he did the little like
jerk off motion.
Yes. Which Pham briefly played on the Red Sox. He plays hard. He plays really well for his team. He'll die by his guys. But sometimes that man needs to just keep it a little quiet, just a little quiet. Because
I love him, honestly. He was fun on the White Sox. Also, I saw a recent video of him outside PNC waiting for his DoorDash before the game.
I love that. He's like, I'm not effing with that food that's in the Pirates clubhouse. Nope, I'm ordering some DoorDash. And I noticed, it's like if you weren't sure that the man is from Las Vegas, he had a gigantic welcome to Las Vegas sign tattooed on his left arm. And I was like, hey, love that you're prideful for where you're from, bud.
I love him. I can't say anything bad about him.
It's just like, no, it's like sometimes it's just like it's like the media training of certain things where it's like this guy needs a little media training where it's like, hey, most fans are gonna be for it, but you also gotta be like, God, be careful what you say sometimes. And it's like, oh,
I'm gonna save this Atlanta drama until the end because there's so much of it. So we're gonna skip that briefly.
Yeah, what's going on in Atlanta? We will get to it at the end.
Javier Báez, please, just retire. Just retire. He is willing to play anywhere if it gives the Tigers a better chance to win. He just made his first career start in center field.
Yeah.
Javier, you have not been good since 2016 on the Cubs.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking at his numbers right now. So his last relatively full season, he played 138 games in 21, and he had a 117 WRC plus, and that is the last time it was above 100. And it was bad. It was 89 in 22. It was 63 in 23. Last year he only did play 80 games, but it was a 43 WRC plus, and now so far he's close to being league average at 97. But yeah, at what cost? Where you're taking him away from the position that he was called El Magro. This is the guy that's the magician at short. And now you're like, we're going to pop you. He's not good enough for us we need him so badly, but we have. It's because it's Trey Sweeney's taking over at short, right? He's been playing. So it's like, we got this guy coming up, but we need you. You're just so good. So we have to figure out what we're going to do with you. So we're going to pop you in center field. No, dude, it's not like you're good enough for us to be doing that.
That's what they do to the kids that aren't good in Little League. Just here, go to right field.
Oh, that's unfortunate. But he made what was kind of a routine catch, and everybody's like, oh my God, look at what he did. I'm like, any center fielder should be making that catch.
Mm-hmm.
But on to a little bit of sad news. So Guardian starting pitcher Triston McKenzie, who at one time was a top prospect for them, quite literally was just DFA'd. And it's unfortunate because you would hope that he could get picked up, but the idea of how bad he has been, that the reclamation's not worth it for the fact that you can't option him to the minors.
Yeah. So. I love Triston McKenzie. So watching him just kind of nosedive has been such a bummer.
And it's always so crazy to me. like how it happens and when it happens. And I'm like, you just feel so bad. And it's not even like it's like an injury thing. It's just like he woke up one day and like I always make the joke that people, speaking of a Triston, get on Triston Casas for a slow start. I'm like, it's not like he just woke up today and forgot how to hit. Like he can hit. It's like Triston McKenzie woke up and forgot how to pitch. And that's so sad. We don't want that on for anybody.
No, I love him. On to some punks that I want to punch in the face.
Ugh.
Nationals reliever Jorge López has been suspended for 3 games for intentionally throwing at my baby, Andrew McCutchen's head. He intends to appeal the suspension, but he claims there was no intent behind the pitch, but like it seriously, like grazed his head. And the bench is cleared because don't hit Andrew McCutchen. Especially in the head.
No, it's like I remember one time, obviously this was like years and years ago because it was Shane Victorino. Somebody like went close to his head and he was just like, he kept going here. He kept going here. Like, hit me in the ribs. No. Like, hit me. You want to hit me? Just do it here. Like, like there's no need for you to be like, that was a big issue with like Roger Clemens was he was like a headhunter. And I'm like, like, what are we doing? Pedro would from time to time do it too. And I was like, I'm not a big fan of the head. Hit them anywhere else, especially the rib, the ass. Go the ass. It's going to bounce right back off. It's going to hurt. They'll bruise it. But you go for the ass, you're not going to hurt. Well, they're not going to break their ass. Like, So yeah, it's unfortunate. But yeah, of course, your last note before we get in was, oh my God, Shohei, first time dad ever. So that was funny that we talked about that a little earlier.
Congratulations, Shohei. On your child that you pushed out yourself.
You did it. And my favorite thing about Shohei is how like closed off he is. That within like the last year and a half, we learned that he had girlfriend to fiance to wife to baby, like all that fat, and we just learned about it like in a tiny little amount of time.
We only knew about the dogs.
Yeah. Decoy. That was it. We were big Decoy fans. But yeah, you were like, oh no, I've got this girl, and she's like I think a basketball player from Japan, like
Olympian.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh okay, cool. So you just married like super cool athletic chick, and now you have your babies. Great. Every happiness to you. But other people are also dads.
Oh. All right, on to this Braves bullshit.
Gosh. This is so crazy.
Do you want to do this?
Yeah. So of course, Acuna reacts on social media to the lack of hustle, saying that they would take me out of the game because I watched that Kelenic. Like dude, you're not good enough to be like pimping a home run, then not hustling to then be out.
Mm-mm.
Like you're simply not good enough. And there probably is something deeply rooted in racism with the idea of like, okay, I'm going to pick on, the guys that English is their second language. They're from the Dominican or they're from Venezuela or Japan. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm just going to be harder on them. And it'll come. And like, again, I don't want to like pass judgment on Snicker and say that there is something racial behind it. But like, sometimes it's like you get these white guys that are like, oh, well, yeah, I'm just going to be harder on these other guys because, they need it. Mm-hmm. Like we've heard things like that before. And it's like, no, I think Ronald Acuna Jr. is pretty okay.
Yeah.
And doesn't necessarily. And if you're going to go after him for not hustling, then you need to quite literally go after the little white boy that sucks.
Yeah, and I'm not an Acuna fan by any means, but
he can be a lot, but a lot of players can be a lot.
Yeah, but I agree with him. I'm bummed that he deleted the tweet because that's just how it works. I mean, he's going to get in trouble if it's.
I never say that. That tweet goes around everywhere. Also, Kelenic is like really weird. Have you seen the Kelenic like video where he's talking about the guy? I think he's like, oh yeah, he played for us for this one team, and then his son passed away, and he says it so like randomly. Have you ever seen that video?
No,
I gotta find the Kelenic because his son passed away. Yeah, I gotta like send this. Let's see. I gotta find it. Yeah. Okay, so there's so what it was a player. Oh my god, I gotta find it. But it was like quite literally the weirdest thing when he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I'll find it eventually and I'll send it to you because I saw it and I was like, well, this is a really weird thing." He was like doing an interview with like Seattle and they were just going around like Safeco or T-Mobile, whatever it's called now, and he was just like looking at all of the old greats and he's like, "Oh yeah, this guy played this season here," and then his son passed away. On to the next thing, and it was just like so random that I was like, what is happening?
I've never been a fan of his anyway, so it doesn't surprise me that he's a weirdo.
Yeah, it was real weird. There's like, you can be fun and weird, but you can also just like Triston Casas, but also be like not like totally weird. But yeah, I'm 100%. Yeah, if it were me, they would take me out of the game. Yeah. And the fact that he got to stay in the game, like that'd be, I will say something about Alex Cora. If that like happened, like let's say Jarren Duran did that, and he's been harder on Duran because he knows that like Duran needs, I think, a little bit of that push. He would be like, "Your ass is on the bench."
Mm-hmm.
He would like, because you see every time they make an error, he's the most angry person ever. So the idea of like, no, you don't hit home runs nearly enough to be pimping it to then be out. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I've seen Luis Robert Jr. and Yohan Moncada benched for less.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. Again, it's like we don't really know how deeply rooted it might be, but it's upsetting to know that like it's never a good look that your player feels like it's okay to call you out on social media.
Yeah. But you also have to think it's Atlanta, and they are just racist as hell there anyway.
Yeah, it's awful. And how badly they've been playing, too. It's like they're too good. I know their pitching is a little rough right now, but like their offense is like too good for them to just not be playing at the level that they should be playing at.
Karma works in mysterious ways.
It does. It really does. But yeah. So at Acuna, another one that can't stay healthy. Jesus, what a. But also, I just can't get over that contract that he signed. It's like, did he just not realize that he was that good? Because it's like, I think he's getting like $12 million a year or something. Yeah. It's like bench player money for when healthy, one of the best players in baseball. It's crazy, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it for some of the news for while we've been on our little mini hiatus.
Yeah.
Is there anything going on in White Sox land that you'd like to talk about? Is there anything you could be excited about? Outside your pitching looking pretty okay?
Their pitching looks fine, although, like I said, Pérez is a huge bummer.
Yeah.
They won 10-3 last night.
Okay. All right, we'll take that.
I was at a concert last night, and there was a random person from Kentucky. This is in Indiana, by the way, that this concert is taking place. From Kentucky. He was in the table in front of us, and he was very loud. And another person at this table was saying I heard her say Gary, Indiana. And then she said, "Yeah, I'm from Chicago." I was like, "Babe, that's an hour out of Chicago still." And he made a comment about how he's a Cubs fan. And then he got very loud about it because I guess she was not a Cubs fan. And she was asking why. And this man is like screaming the "Go Cubs Go" song. And then I catch a stray because he's like, "The White Sox fucking suck." And I was like, "Bro, we're not even rivals."
Yeah, I know. You just coexist in like the same city.
Yeah. And the White Sox fans, we don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They are obsessed with us. And then he called the Cubs a poor man's team.
The Cubs are real good right now.
They're not. Most of their fan base is in the rich suburbs of
Yeah,
Chicago.
like the north side is like the nice, like a really nice part of. Yeah, whereas like I know I've heard things about the south side. Again, I haven't been there, but I've heard that it's a little more dangerous than the north side of Chicago would be.
Go to Wrigley. There's more crime in Wrigleyville.
Is there really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wrigleyville's brutal.
Is it getting bad?
Yeah. Southside is kind of turned around a lot too, but
That's good. That's good. I mean, it's great to know that it's like people used to say that like the Roxbury section of Boston used to be really bad, and now Roxbury's like lovely.
Yeah.
So it's
No,
like-
Bridgeport, where they are, is lovely. But yeah, he's very overserved. And then he's like screaming that the White Sox suck, and I'm like, buddy. And my cousin, my Cubs fan cousin that was with me, was like, no. She's like trying to defend my honor, and she's like yelling, and she was like,
That's
who
so
just
funny.
won 10-3?
You just see there's these people like there for a concert, then you just see these people in the corner being like, no, the White Sox suck. No, the Cubs suck. Honestly, I'd be like, this is great.
And I mean, the two bands that were playing, like, it was Hawthorne Heights, so Ohio.
Mm.
And I'm like, you're in Kentucky, you should be like a Reds fan.
Yeah, I know, right?
And then Chiodos is from Michigan, so it's like we've got all these Midwest baseball teams, and he's like screaming about the Cubs, and I'm like, I'm trying.
Unprovoked too?
Huh?
Was it completely unprovoked?
I think so. Like these
that's
people
so
wouldn't
funny.
stop talking during this concert.
Anyways, yeah. I'm
And
like, you
you
paid
know
to
that.
come here, and what are you doing?
Like, why?
Oh god, that's good. Well, the Red Sox are just mid right now, slightly above, one game above 500. So we'll see. They're currently playing right now. I'll check in on that score after I finish up here, but we'll see. If we get 2 games back above, that would be really nice. I would enjoy that. But it's just been, I mean, they couldn't get more mid last year, so I'm just really hoping that, the American League is so bad that I'm like, just please go on a little bit of a run, because you have the ability to like win the American League. You might get annihilated in the World Series, but you have the ability to actually get to the World Series while being not that great. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with that.
Well, that's what we got.
Yeah.
We'll be back to our regular schedule now that we're not traveling, and
Yeah.
I don't celebrate Easter,
But you were still somewhere on Easter, you were doing something. So whether or not it was looking for the Easter bunny and getting eggs.
I did bring my children home Easter candy from Jacques Torres, his little shop in New York.
Ooh, was it good?
Yes.
Oh.
For those unfamiliar, he is a well-known chocolatier.
Ooh.
He was on the show Nailed It.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun.
He's one of the judges.
That's cool. So yeah, that's the one thing that's like, Boston's got good food, but like New York has like just like so much, because it's like this melting pot. There's just so much varieties of different foods, and that's what's great about New York.
I got to eat gluten-free lo mein. I have not had lo mein in probably 3 years.
And it was good?
Yeah, it was good. We found so many places that were either like completely gluten-free or had like a very expensive menu, and I was like, I could eat. I had a soft pretzel that changed my life.
That sounds so good.
Oh,
we love that. Yeah, that's the one thing. If you're like a vegetarian or a vegan, LA is like great for that. It's like legitimately almost, there's so many different options. So it's like if you have some dietary restrictions, there's like certain cities, especially LA, will cater to like, I don't know as much as like in the gluten-free realm, but vegan, oh my God, yeah, you can almost eat anywhere, which is great for that.
Yeah, I love it. All right, well, we'll talk to you later.
Bye, guys.